Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 2, the Supernations mod version 1.4. And so we're nearing the end of the Supernations mod version 1.4 development period. I'm currently doing the USA campaign, but there was an event that I decided, or an event chain, that's fairly extensive that I decided to add into the game, and I figured I might as well go back and sort of record what is going on, what to expect, that sort of thing, because you won't be seeing it in my actual Let's Play. A lot of the new events I've added are mostly in the 1900s or late 1890s, and not back in the 1850s like this one is. So it's a little bit new, it's a little bit different. I figured I might as well just go around and just go through it with all of you guys so you are familiar with it, and so you don't see the Let's Play and like what's going on. And so anyways, it's obviously, if you can see right here, it has to do with the Mormon Exodus. And so, of course, you get the event in about 1846, 1848 or so, where you get the home of the Mormons modifier here in Utah, and that's about it. But I decided to go in per some requests from the Supernations Discord, and decided to go ahead and mod in the event. So now there's about 12 or 13 additional events regarding this Mormon settlement or immigration to Utah. And so we're going to jump through a lot of it. There are several diverging paths the player can take, so we're going to go through all of them. And so first it starts out with the Mormon immigration event, after, of course, you do the Mormon Exodus. And so it appears that the Mormons are expanding their influence in the Utah region. Their focus on proselyting appears to be having some measure of success. So interesting. So what this does is that increases the population in Salt Lake City, Utah. And so by 25%. So right now it's 6.29 thousand, and now it's 7.61 thousand. And so there we go. And so now we're going to jump forward really quick, and I'll show you guys the second event. All right, here we are, guys, and now we have the second event, and so now it's called Mormon Immigration Increases. And so the Mormons have begun to proselyte overseas, and this too has brought an increased measure of immigration to the Utah territory. And so this time, instead of 25%, increases it by 30%, so 8.59 right now, and now it's 10.83. You can see right here, if I go into the actual population itself, that the population dynamics are increasing as far as those who follow Mormonism. And so you have that right there. It's already 89.5%, 89.5% Yankees, and so you have all that fun stuff going on right now. And so that's pretty much it. And so we're going to jump forward once again to 1854. All right, and here we are back, guys, and now we have the third event in the event chain called Brigham Young's Utah. And so the increased presence of the Mormons in the Utah territory has begun to worry some of the nation's leaders. Further complicating the matter is Young's apparent theocracy in the region. So disconcerting. All pops in Salt Lake City will grow by 30%. Oh, and ignore whatever this is, Walker's Affair. We're going to ignore that. Move you. And so it's, of course, right now it's at 12.43 thousand people. And now if we click this, it is at 15.76 thousand. And of course, pops are mostly laborers still. You have some minority pops, but of course, it's pretty much all just laborers in this territory. But now it's 91.6% Mormon and 91.6% Yankee. So that is interesting. And now we are going to continue to move forward. So I'll see you guys in a bit. All right, everybody. So here is the next event, the Mormon State. So it is no longer a matter we can ignore. The Mormons have fully entrenched themselves in the Utah region. It has come to our attention that we have a decision to make. Either let them alone or remove Young's governorship in favor of a non-Mormon. This may draw the ire of the Mormons, however. As we either send as replacement, let us tread cautiously in the matter, or to hell with it, remove them. And so these are all three diverging event chains that you can choose as a player. We can go ahead and explore the first one, though. So the first one, of course, is going to give any population who is Mormon in Salt Lake City is going to gain 5 militancy, but their population will also change by 10%. So let's go ahead and jump right into this one. And so it's going to take about a few days for this one to fire. So here it goes. So our replacement arrives in Utah. So as our replacement arrived in Utah territory, accompanied with an army regiment, it seems the Mormons took the matter as provocation, and we are now faced with a tenuous situation. And so we have two options here. So the first one is pull back, don't anger the Mormons. The second one's insist on the replacement. And so we're going to go ahead and look at both. And so the first option is pull back, don't anger the Mormons. So let's go ahead and do that. It changes the population by 30%, which is right now it's at 20,000 people. And they lose 10 militancy. And so the Matter of the Mormons is the next event that pops up immediately afterwards. So despite initial fears, peace has resumed throughout the region. Albeit it appears that the Mormon presence has grown ever more as a result of our actions. And so we can choose that we won't interfere in the territory's affairs, which basically ends the entire event chain. And of course, it gives them a Mormon presence assured modifier, giving increased growth, but it also increases their population by 30%. And then we have the second option, which is let them govern themselves. We will be done with the matter. So this one's a little bit more interesting. You can release Deseret as an autonomous sort of region of the United States and as a satellite. And let's go ahead and click that one because that's the one that has anything interesting happening afterwards. And there you go. And so now you have Deseret right here. They just popped up and they are now the Mormons People Party. They're a satellite of the United States of America. And so that basically ends the event chain right away. And there you go. That's the end of that part. And so now we'll jump right back to the beginning of the Mormon State event and choose the bottom option. All right, guys, here we are. We are back at the previous event, so the Mormon State. And so this time, of course, we can either let us tread cautiously in the matter and leave them be. Basically, this ends the event chain. Population changes by 30%. They lose 10 militancy, and they also get a modifier. Or, the more interesting option is we can say, to hell with it, remove them. And so all pops in Salt Lake City who are Mormon they'll get a 10% population increase, which is obviously less than the middle option. And they will gain 10 militancy. And so, of course, let's do it. And so now they have a ton of militancy. They also have a ton of population down there as well. And now we just kind of wait a little bit for the next event to pop up. So there we go. So the Mormon Rebellion rouses. So our aggressive approach to the Mormons has resulted in a rousing of rebellion of the Mormons in the West. We must be prepared for the worst. There we go. So prepare for war. Release Deseret. All pops in Salt Lake City where our Mormon will become 3,000%. That is not what I intended. It's not supposed to be 3,000. Let me go ahead and change that super quick because it is right over here. Yeah, Mormon Rebellion rouses. Yeah, let's not do 30. In fact, it should be 0.3. All right, it's fixed. That was obviously a mistake. But we're going to have some very, very jingoistic Mormons, apparently. So now we have Deseret. And of course, similar to the last event, it is still here. Mormon presence is assured, of course. And there's 20,000 of them. It's 45,000 is the entire state population. We can apparently create a state in California. Let's do that. And so we wait a few months before the rebellion occurs. And so I will come back as soon as that. Never mind. We are already back. The Mormon Rebellion erupts. Yeah. Our aggressive approach to the Mormons has resulted in a complete rebellion of the Mormons in the West. Let us march forward. So release Deseret and declare war on Deseret. There we go. War. It's called the Utah War. And our Casus Belli is missing. Why is it missing? Regardless, that's going to be fixed when the mod actually releases. And so there you pretty much have it. You have this whole rebellion happening here. We can see, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to raise any units. They are mobilizing currently. And they have 4 brigades. We got 12,000 Mormons marching forth. Of course, it's not going to do much for them. But it's interesting, isn't it? In fact, let me reload it super quick because you can't actually see their name because that's just how Victoria 2 works. So let's go ahead and quit and come right back so I can show you guys what it looks like with the name. And so, of course, right here, you have the United States of America. You have Deseret right here. So, interesting little tidbit. And that's pretty much all for that event chain as well. You win the war, and that's supposed to be pretty much it. But yeah. Though, there is a second option I could think of. I could put it into the mod where basically Deseret will rebel during the Civil War again if they, well, yeah, anyways. Let's go right back to the original event, and I will show you guys the last thing that occurs. Alright guys, so literally right after filming that one segment, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to do it. Why not make it so the Mormons too end up rebelling from the United States of America? And so that's what we're going to do here. So the Mormons are joining the Confederate Rebellion. Perhaps our war against the Mormons in Utah has resulted in their animosity. With the Confederate succession, the Mormons are also succeeding. The rebellions never cease. Release Deseret. Get the Mormons declare war events, of course, in 100 or so days. They don't get Flagstaff or Phoenix in this case, but that should still be fine. Our nation will not be divided. So now you have a bigger issue on your hand. Of course, Deseret isn't that big of a nation, but it does go to say that there's still potentially issues here. So of course you have the mobilized for war. That's the regular thing. But in about another month or so, we should have the war begin. This time with Deseret on their side. Actually, I'm gonna reload it really quick, just because I don't like not being able to see the names of all the countries. It's just a Victoria issue, right? So let's jump right back in here. Actually, it doesn't even say their name anyways. Oh, so it's fine. Oop. And then I'll just stay on until we get the event, which will be right after the Confederates do there. So Battle of Fort Sumter. So Brigadier General blah, 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 blah. So yeah, they declare war, and pretty much immediately right after, the Mormons also declare war. So declare war on Deseret, and then you have the Mormon succession. And so now you have two wars you have to face. So you have Unite the Nation, of course, in two areas, and so that's literally it. That's the end of that specific event chain. Interesting enough. So there you go. Of course, I think they still get, yeah, now the Mexicans declare war as well. Yeah, and then they have their 4 brigades, of course, again, and there you have it. So let's go right back to the beginning of the event again, and I'll show you the last and final event of this whole Mormon event chain. Alright guys, so here we are, and we're back. So we got the Mormon State event once again. This time we're going to choose the middle option. Let us tread cautiously in the matter, leave them be. And so the population ends up changing by 30%, and they get a growth modifier. And so they have 23.33 thousand. Of course, they're going to grow rather quickly for the time being. And then we're going to come back in another few months as soon as we get the last event to fire. So I'll see you guys in a sec. All right, guys, welcome back. We are at the final event of the Utah, or the Mormon event chain in the Supernations mod. And so basically it's peace in the Utah territory. It's been several years since the crisis in the Utah territory with the Mormons. It appears initial fears were unwarranted, and the Mormons are now considered to be proper citizens. So wonderful news. This is a complete like flavor event, so there's nothing actually impactful as far as the gameplay with the event. It just kind of gives a little finality towards the whole event chain. But that about sums up the entire whole event chain. And so I just wanted to do this video, of course, like I mentioned at the beginning, because I didn't go over it, or wasn't in the actual in the patch that I was playing with my Let's Play series. And so hopefully that you guys can experience it, give me feedback if you enjoy or whatever, but this should definitely add a little bit more of flavor to the entire mod. But that's pretty much it. So later today, or maybe tomorrow morning, I will be posting the announcement for the release of version 1.4 of the Supernations mod, and so keep a lookout for that. There's only a few more things I need to go ahead and get done with the mod before I can go ahead and release it, so just stay tuned. And anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. As always, please leave a like down below and consider subscribing if you would like to see more content just like this, more frequent uploads. If you have any suggestions, go ahead and leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time.